Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Don't you understand, George? It's because you were not born.
Film church.
Well, a boy's best friend is his mother.
Once you accept the responsibility, the power will come.
Hello and welcome back to Film Church Radio. This is Brandon. It's been a while since we've done an episode. Lewis and I have both been very busy this year. This is the first episode of the year, actually. Lewis and I were able to catch up right after the Oscars, talk about our thoughts, and talk about Dune 2, talk about Madam Web, talk about other things we've been watching in the last couple months. So, hope you enjoy this episode. It was just a casual conversation. There is video on Spotify and YouTube if you want to see the video portion. And just a couple of housekeeping things. If you want to share the show with your friends, tell them filmchurchradio.com. We also have merch on our website if you want to support us and wear some cool swag. You can find Lewis on Letterboxd at LewisWalker3007, and I am at Selman Scope. Hope you enjoy.
Yo.
What's
up?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Doing good.
Living the dream.
Had a busy weekend, but
yeah,
over the hump.
That's good. I saw the short film. It was great.
You
did
liked
it
it?
in Yeah. How long did it take?
37 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was for Kevin Smith's competition that he's doing at Smod Castle, his movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
So usually they like competitions like this, they'll do like a 48-hour challenge. But I guess in reference to Clerks, they were like, let's do 37.
Nice.
So it was kind of the same thing that I had done a 48-hour challenge like a long time ago. And it was the same thing where they give you like a character, a line of dialogue, and a prop you have to use.
Cool.
So basically we got all of that at 9 a.m. Saturday morning, and then we had to send it in by Sunday night by 11 p.m. our time anyway.
Yeah.
It was midnight New Jersey time, but so we didn't actually shoot it until Sunday morning though. Well, we really didn't even start shooting till like noon on Sunday. So
yeah.
It was like
pretty close. Yeah.
Very quick. Yeah. And then last night, I mean, it ended up being fine and everything came out good.
Yeah.
But yeah, last night I didn't realize the Oscars were starting like an hour early, and the time change always confuses me.
Yeah.
So we were like an hour. I didn't finish editing till, I don't know, probably 10. But Sarah like got on Fubo and subscribed, like got a free trial, and so we ended up watching it afterwards. We stayed up till like 1
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So yeah, but it was busy.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I
managed to watch it this morning. I watched like the opening monologue and then the first award last night. And then I was like, I can watch the rest tomorrow. I'm not going to stay up because it was like, 11:45 at that point. So I was like, I'll just do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I watched it today.
I feel like the Oscars are back in some ways. I don't know. At least the show is so much better than it was a couple years ago. I don't think the monologues were very good this year. I thought it was a bit stilted. I don't know. It didn't feel as like it was kind of like we'd like the jokes we know that've been there before. It was kind of like, your films are too long. Robert Downey Jr. had a drug problem. The German people aren't very funny. It's like, we know these are
bog
Yeah.
standard, you know.
There is a couple that made me laugh really loud,
Yeah.
but of course I can't remember them.
Mm.
I don't remember what they were.
Oh yeah, that's the problem with the Oscars. No one can.
Yeah. I mean, I was just so tired last night, but I did really enjoy the show. I was like laughing,
Yeah.
but I was also like drinking wine and stuff. So maybe it was the wine.
Yeah. Makes it easy. Takes the edge off.
But are you okay that I'm like already recording this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just figured like we'd keep it super casual and yeah, I mean, we haven't recorded an episode in
I know, a long time.
a while.
Yeah.
It's
Life.
kind of crazy.
I know.
Is work going good and everything?
Yeah, it's good. Works fine. I work from home Monday and Friday, but I just push all my meetings and everything to like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and everybody else does. So like Monday and Friday, you're just kind of available for if you need to put like fires out or anything like that. So, you know, but yeah, it's going well.
Dope.
Yeah, just lack of time all the time. Just not watching enough, not doing enough, you know.
Yeah.
Just chocker. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I have started my new job back in December and then training for it, and then now I'm doing the job, but it's kind of slow. So I'm only getting work like 2 days a week on average. But I'm like making as much as I was at Starbucks, just working 2 days a week. So I know that once more work comes in, I'll be making a lot more and that'll be good. But I like it so far, but I'm also I'm not just, I'm wondering what it's going to be like when I have really long days, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
How much I'll be like, oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
But it will be good money. So
I know it kind of makes it easier, doesn't it, when you get that paycheck?
Yeah.
So, but that's good. I'm glad that it's not like all too much at the moment. You're still getting time to do all this stuff.
Yeah, and with the job, it's just physical stress. It's not mental stress. Like I'm listening to audiobooks. I listened to The Hobbit. I re-listened to like I haven't reread Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit since before the movies came out. So I'm listening. I finished The Hobbit and I'm like over halfway through The Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
And that's like, dude, that's so much like being able to just kind of work and
I know
listen to audiobooks and not have someone peeking over shoulder like you know.
It just it makes, I don't know, it just makes your downtime not as precious, doesn't it? It's like I'm the same. If I can sit at home and just like listen to like the new album or a book or have a movie on in the background, you know, all the same stuff. So
it just makes it makes you not dread work so much.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, and then like I've just been trying to take advantage of my free time and write, and I wrote a new draft of Cinema for the Dead.
Nice.
Finally, like got that done. But I've already got new ideas of a couple of things I want to change. But I asked Zach to kind of rip it apart, and he wrote me like 3 or 4 pages of notes. So
oh wow. Yeah.
I don't need to go back through those and change a few things, but just want to like hone it in really good.
Yeah.
And I am happy with all the changes that I did make. Like there was a few things that I wasn't happy with before. And then made a movie this weekend, and I've been watching more movies, and speaking of which, what have you been watching lately?
Went to see Dune 2 last night.
You did?
It's I feel like my cinema watching's switched because now that we've got kind of live-in babysitters, we tend to go to the movies a lot more, but I tend to watch movies at home a lot less.
Yeah.
Just because of, my family are kind of always around and there's always something that they want to watch on TV, and it's you get sucked into it and myriad of reasons. So we went to see Dune 2 yesterday, went to see it in IMAX. And yeah, I mean, with Dune, I don't know anything about the lore of it. I feel like the Lord of the Rings, I was young enough to just be like, cool, I'm going with it. This is awesome. I've never seen this before. But with Dune, I'm like, what are my characters' motivations here? I feel like I don't know the characters well. I'm not attached to anyone yet.
Yeah.
They're still incredible movies, like so well made, like so well put together. I thought this one crammed a lot more in than the last one. I know you've seen it.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. So we might talk spoilers here.
Yeah,
but
there was points of it I think that were like baggy, and points of it that felt rushed, and I just wish that maybe it had been like, just I don't know, like calm down a little bit, in certain places.
Yeah, I feel that. Did you rewatch the first one before you saw the second one?
I did. I couldn't.
Okay.
Honestly, I could not remember a thing about it.
Yeah,
which
it's like how. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 first time I saw it, and kind of sustained that for the second time. But I could not have told you what happened. I think in my mind it was more complicated than it was. Because when I rewatched it, I was like, this is a pretty simple story. The first one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like they get sent to this planet and then they get kind of wiped out.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.
I guess just as a viewer, there's a lot of world building that you're processing in your brain. You're like, oh, this is how this works, and this is how that works, and this is how the society is set up and stuff. And I remember liking the first one, and I rewatched it before seeing the second one. I got to go to an advanced screening.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like a week early. Also that weekend, there's been a lot of stuff going on lately.
Yeah.
So that weekend, Broken Boy was showing at the Cine Noir Film Festival in Shreveport.
Nice.
And Jason had texted me that it was showing there, and he was like, can you go? But I already had something, but then I was able to get out of it. Anyway, long story short, I drove up to Shreveport that weekend, and me and him stayed with Mitch, who shot Broken Boy.
Yeah.
And Mitch is a huge Dune fan.
Yeah.
Like, he's read the books and seen the old movie, the David Lynch version. And and I had these 2 tickets. Sarah was out of town, and I was like, it was the next day. Like, we were I was leaving Shreveport on Sunday. I was like, if you want to drive 4 hours to Houston to watch Dune 2 advanced screening, you can.
Let's do it.
Welcome to. And he was like, yeah, I'll come.
That's awesome. Yeah.
He drove down Monday, and then we went and saw it, and he spent the night and stuff. And it was an IMAX, and we sat like right in the middle.
Amazing.
Which was cool. Because I wasn't really sure how the seating was going to be. It ended up not being super full, but there was like a huge line outside when we got there. So that was kind of nostalgic, because you don't really see that anymore.
Yeah.
And then I kind of felt the same way that you did about it up into a point. So this is where we might get into spoilers, but it did seem like they were cramming a lot in. Like, the pace just like picked up a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the story that well, so I was like, this seems like a lot of other stories, the whole Messiah thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The chosen one.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if I mean, this is a good movie, yes.
Yeah.
But it didn't like, it wasn't like breaking any barriers yet.
Yeah, the first one seemed very character driven, and this one still is, but this one is more space opera. It's kind of what you'd expect more from Star Wars, whereas I thought Dune was a bit more minute, a bit more kind of.
The thing that turned my opinion on it, and that got me really hooked at the towards the end. Of course, it's a long movie, and but it's once he comes in, the Timothy Chalamet character, into the like synagogue area where they're like having their worship, religious service or whatever, and he comes in and he just fully embraces that he is like the Messiah or the
Yeah.
chosen one.
Yeah.
And it has like this dark turn almost.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that because like the whole time he's like resistant to it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he like fully embraced it and then kind of like turned dark a little bit, I think. I mean, yeah, that's happened before, I guess, with like Star Wars and stuff. But like
Yeah.
this was,
I know.
this made a lot more sense in terms of the turn, and it also makes you question, like, in the context of religion today in our world, you know, what would people in power do, or what do
Yeah.
people in power do? You know, like, can we trust these people that we've placed as saviors in our society
I know.
to actually be good people?
Yeah. There's a real interesting duality to his character in that, because like you said, he kind of resists it, but I don't think I think he's accepted it. I think he's just trying to temper everyone's expectations a little bit. He's not, because how many times have we seen, you know, oh, you're the chosen one, and they just fight it the whole time. And like you said, this time he was just like, okay, I'll wear this, like, I'll take it on. I don't care, you know, which was really refreshing. But then the whole, like, I know this is probably expanded in the books, and I want to read the books to kind of get more of a explanation, and huge spoiler. But when he's revealed to be, like, when he's like, oh, I'm the Baron's, you know, grandson, I was like, oh no, no. Why does it have to be family related again?
Yeah.
Why can't we just, you know, ever do anything that's not?
Yeah.
Everyone is related in these movie
What
universes.
I've heard is that a lot of these like hero journey stories that we've grown up with took a lot of inspiration from Dune.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I don't know. It's like, what, you know, which came first kind of a thing. But what, you know, obviously we're just so used to it now. And, you know, the most annoying one was like when they did it again in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Your grandpa's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm hoping it doesn't develop. I'm hoping that now that most of them have been dispatched, that it's not going to turn into anything too, I don't know, dominating. Because he kind of, you know, we got some good lines out of it. You know, he kind of killed him, and then when he's fighting Austin Butler, and he's like, you know, well, I've killed family members before.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's pretty rad. But, you know, I'm hoping that it's not going to be like he's just fighting this kind of, I don't want to be the Baron all his life, which would just be very frustrating.
I think it really didn't bother me. I'm like, I was surprised by the twist, I guess. You know, surprised and not surprised, but
I think it's always in my mind, I'm perfectly comfortable with where it is at. And then when something like that drops, I'm like, oh, I don't need this for this to be at, like, elevate. You know, I don't need this an extra level. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this just being.
I think it's
as
more.
It is.
I think it's more the fact that the Harkonnens, which is like his, you know, the people that killed his whole family.
Yeah.
The fact that he's like a descendant of them, like he wanted to just wipe them out. He wanted to be, you know, he wanted revenge. He wanted to wipe them out. But then, you know, in accepting his like, in accepting his throne and his destiny, and, you know, becoming the emperor, by doing that, he's like allowing the legacy of the Harkonnens to live on through him.
Yeah.
Which, you know, creates, I don't know, it creates a very interesting dynamic, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the Emperor said something. Is it the Emperor? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of Star Wars. But when he's like,
no, it is the Emperor. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Christopher Walken character.
To kill them, or is it? Maybe it's Florence Pugh that said to kill them would to make them messiahs, or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, like to attack. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just make a religion grow
If you, yeah,
if you
yeah, if you
suppress
take
them or
out the
whatever.
Messiah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Dune 2 was good. I mean, just another kind of fun, not too weighty, film to see in the cinema. I had a good time with it and stuff. Been watching a lot of the Oscar films. They've been doing kind of like one-off screenings for the most of the Oscar nominated ones. So I managed to catch American Fiction and Holdovers. And trying to think if there was any more Anatomy of a Fall I saw as well, but I think that was before Christmas.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
one was your favorite?
I really liked Holdovers.
Yeah.
I really liked Holdovers. Thought that was really good.
I still haven't seen Holdovers or Anatomy of a Fall.
I mean, Anatomy of a Fall is really good.
Yeah.
It is really good. I think it's one of those where it's multiple viewings are going to like enhance it, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's a court case, you just never, you're never sure. You can look for like nuances and clues all the time, But yeah, and then with that, been seeing a lot of kids' films as well because I take my daughter pretty much every Sunday, so we go and see. They always do like a local cinema does like a older animated film on Sunday mornings at 10, which is like perfect. So went to see like old Ice Age and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she's having a good time.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's always
getting
fun.
used to the cinema. I know we always go and there's all these other kids that are running around and screaming, and she's so still and quiet and just enjoys watching the movie. I'm just like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing
Teaching them right.
Yeah. That's right. But I know you've been doing like a big Christopher Nolan rewatch.
Yeah.
So last night must have been pretty like a nice end to that chapter.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I felt like it was coming. I just felt like that was. I don't know. Oppenheimer was just so good. It was just hard to deny.
I know. Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely satisfying. I was joking with you and Zach a few weeks ago. I was like, man, it's crazy that Michael Caine has been in every Christopher Nolan movie since Batman Begins, but he's not in Oppenheimer. And now he's gonna like win all the awards for Oppenheimer.
Yeah. No,
but I mean, Michael Caine has had his,
yeah,
he's had his run.
He's done okay.
Yeah, he's doing all right. But yeah, I mean, rewatching all of his films, obviously they're all so good. I think his Batman films are my least favorite of his, though.
Wow.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah.
I just
do you
feel
think
like
do you think that's because the others are so good, or do you think that's because your taste in comic book movies has changed?
I think it's my taste in movies has changed. I mean, they are really good movies.
Yeah.
I think, and I do like them. It's just that I want to see. I don't know. I was going to say, I think I've just maybe seen them the most too. So
yeah,
there's only so much. Like all of his movies, you get more every time you watch them. But then there's like it gets to a point where it's like, how much more can you get out of this? But also, I think it's weird. I think my favorite of the Batman movies is Batman Begins.
Yeah,
and because I mean, obviously, The Dark Knight is iconic and it's amazing, and there's some really good scenes. But I think the ending. Like, I don't agree with the ending, which then they address in the second one. I don't mean filmmaking wise or story wise. I just mean like ethics wise.
Yeah,
and morals and ethics. The morals and ethics of their decision to be like, let's just bury all of this and not tell the public anything and lie to the public.
Yeah,
I don't really believe in that. As like
times have changed, haven't they? I mean, we've been lied to a lot. So
yeah, exactly. So then obviously they address that in the third one and the consequences of that. But I just think I don't know. It just seems like Nolan has more interesting things to do and say
Yeah.
other than like, let's go back to the billionaire who
I
wears a
know.
bat suit.
Yeah. I haven't seen Dark Knight Rises very much at all. I feel like that's the one that I'm more interested in going back to because it's the one that's not as like lauded. You know, I
Yeah.
want to go back with a fresh pair of eyes and watch that again.
Yeah.
But
It's all
yeah,
right.
Memento I haven't seen for a long time either.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It is just mind blowing, like his filmography.
Yeah. And I've never seen Tenet.
Yeah, Tenet is it's one of those that you do have to watch it a few times, but after watching it once, you might not watch it again
Yeah.
because it is so complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I don't know. You can still follow. You can. It's a good action movie. Like if you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna just enjoy this as an action movie, cool. But there's so much, and you can enjoy it that way. Like you can, without trying to break it down, you can just enjoy it as a movie, and it's like it's kind of like a James Bond action movie.
Cool. Yeah.
But then there are a ton of layers of things that like you realize that it goes so much deeper than what you're currently processing, and it would take a lot of rewatches to kind of understand everything. But it's, I think because it's so complicated, it's hard to place that one above, some of his other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, Inception is iconic. Like, I think Interstellar is honestly my favorite of Nolan's. Just so good.
Yeah.
Like,
Another I haven't seen for a long time. I think I've only seen it once.
Timothy Chalamet's like kind of breakout role.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, it was like his first big working with a big time director.
Yeah.
2014. He was like real young.
Yeah.
And his part's not huge or anything, but still, it's like you're in a Nolan movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just and I've been trying to watch some interviews with him too as I go, just to kind of get more out of it, like, and understand Nolan as a filmmaker and his, writing process and filmmaking process. And one of the inspiring things that he said about, his career starting, he had already made a film with The Following, black and white, low budget film. And then from that, he was able to start talking with studios, and he already had Memento written. But Memento is, for his first studio film, is it's kind of the same thing with Tenet. It's a very complicated, structurally.
You have to get it right.
You've got to get it right, or it's not going to work. But one of the things he said was it was basically something along the lines of when you're starting out as a filmmaker, you can't really be like a middle of the road kind of filmmaker. You kind of have to do something outrageous and bold, or else you're not going to get noticed, because there's tons of middle of the road filmmakers that are probably going to make, they can probably make middle of the road films better than you can. So if you're trying to break in, you got to do something a little crazy, just so that people know you can do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Guess,
Make or break kind of thing.
Yeah. So, but then he also just kind of does that with every one of his films, it seems like.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer is crazy. It's crazy that I think that it works, because out of all of his films, it seems to be almost the most straightforward and simple, but the way that it's edited and paced is just like so, it feels so, I don't know, it feels so much more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah.
But it just works. It's like somehow not complicated.
I know. What I like about Nolan is he trusts us to
to
I don't
follow
know.
him.
Yeah, to be, you know, intelligent enough to go on this journey with him.
Yeah.
And it pays off. I mean, Oppenheimer made, you know, millions and millions of dollars, and it's on on paper, it's a stuffy biography about a man who created a bomb, you know, but it becomes so much more than that, and he allows us to, I don't know, to run with it, you know, to fill in those gaps and talk intelligently about these matters, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
You know, I like ambiguity, and I like not really knowing everything about everything that's going on. I like questions at the end, you know, I like to talk about it. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
you're supposed to be on the edge of your seat, like what's going to happen next? Where is this
Yeah.
going? You know,
Yeah.
you'll
He
get
does
the
that.
answers at some point.
Yeah.
Or
But I feel like
sometimes
even
not.
if
Sometimes
yeah,
not.
if you
Especially
don't,
with his movies.
yeah, that's
They can be
okay.
very
Yeah.
ambiguous.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are left in a position of deciding, like, especially morally, you're kind of left in a position where you're not told if this is a good guy or a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about Oppenheimer. Usually it's like all of his movies.
Yeah.
Um and that's good. I think that you want films to kind of spark discussion and not just like, you know, like the way that you and I discuss, but even just internal discussion with yourself. Like you
Yeah.
want films
Yeah.
to kind of help you discover, because normally, like, if you're just walking around everyday life, you know, go to
Yeah.
work, go to grocery store, you know, cook,
Yeah.
sleep, whatever, you're not necessarily faced with questions that make you um know who you are,
Yeah.
you know. But then you get a film a Nolan film comes along, or something, you know, or another great film that makes you question, like, oh, what do I think about this? You know, what
Yeah.
do I think
Yeah.
about a man creating a bomb that can kill the entire world?
Yeah. And then being put on trial for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um yeah, a master, of course. Well
Yeah.
deserved
Yeah. One of the
Oscar.
greatest filmmakers ever. Like, he's climbing his body of work. It's the same as Denis Villeneuve. I mean, talk about like hitting it out the park with every single film. You know, there's not some films are quieter. You know, Dunkirk, for example, is not as flashy and showy as Inception and, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy, but it doesn't mean that it's any less interesting and
Yeah, it was
riveting. And
rewatching Dunkirk. I was like, all right, I got 3 hours. And then I
yeah,
started playing it, and it was like, oh, it's an hour and 45 minutes.
yeah,
What? I did
I
not
know,
remember that it was that short. I was like,
yeah,
what?
I know. And
But
I mean, he got a good performance out of Harry Styles. You know, we watched Don't Worry, Darling, and you're like, wow, this guy cannot act, but apparently he can.
yeah,
So he must be good.
yeah, must be. Not that Olivia Wilde is necessarily a terrible director, but
No, just might take something special
yeah.
to irk it out of him.
Well, too, I'm sure there's a lot more pressure on a Nolan set, just
Oh,
internally. I mean,
yeah,
I've heard his sets are super fun and cool and collaborative,
yeah,
but still, like, dude, the level of like, okay, I gotta show up with my A game, and
takes over. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Because even Robert Downey Jr. kind of talked about that in some of
yeah,
his interviews lately, as he's just been like, you know, he wasn't
mm,
he wasn't necessarily treated like royalty on a Nolan set. He was just another
yeah,
collaborator. You know, everybody on set's kind of
yeah.
all there to,
The same level. Yeah,
yeah,
make the best movie. Yeah,
yeah. Um, yeah, I think one of my favorite parts of the Oscars was uh Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling having their
yeah,
whole thing.
yeah, yeah,
Like those two together was like, holy shit. Like they're both so good at being movie stars and being actors. Like they've got that balance, like where they're really good in all of their roles, but they also are really good in front of a live audience or just in front of any kind of camera where they're being asked questions or putting on a show or whatever. Like they can sing, they can dance, they can act, they can,
Yeah.
uh
And they're going to be in a movie together in May.
they are.
Fall
I was
Guy.
wondering that. I was
Yeah.
like, have these two been in a movie together?
I
Because
know.
there's obviously like, it was, I don't know. They were just too good to pass up, but also it was like clearly these two people know each other very well,
Yeah.
because like otherwise, like, yeah, how would that work? Because they didn't necessarily know where the awards were going, and like it felt like some of that was like improvised, but I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, it had that air to it, but even if it's not, it shows how good they are because they could improvise. It sounds improvised even if it's not. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that was so great. Yeah, I didn't. So Poor Things is a really, really good movie, but I think just because of Barbie and Oppenheimer, I expected all the awards to kind of go to those two.
Yeah.
But a lot did go to Poor Things.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning, but
I
Barbie
was
didn't make
surprised.
much.
I know.
Or
Yeah,
they
I
didn't
was
get.
really surprised.
Yeah.
I feel like there was some really good like nominees, individual nominees, but across the board I thought the categories were pretty weak. I mean, you're not looking for the big performances, but I feel like in most of them, there were kind of one or two that you were like, it's got to be one of these. Where some years you just have no idea, like they're all incredibly good performances,
Yeah.
And I'm weak is a strong word because I think that performances are really subjective. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's just it doesn't feel like it was encompassing everything this year. I felt like
Well,
when
I
it got
didn't
to
also see everything either, but
no, because I don't know.
but the ones that I thought were gonna win did win.
Yeah.
Like I was pretty sure Oppenheimer was gonna win Best Picture. Pretty sure Nolan was gonna win Best Director. I was like, Cillian Murphy is gonna win. Robert Downey Jr. is gonna win.
Yep.
And I was like, Emma Stone. I didn't see all the films, but Emma Stone's performance in Poor Things was like something you've never seen before.
Yeah.
It's so unique and genuine and honest and intriguing that it was just to me, I was like that she must win.
Yeah.
I mean,
You've
I
got
was
to
like,
trust the director a lot to kind of do it.
yeah, you do. And did you see Poor Things?
I did. Yeah.
Bro.
I know. It's really good.
So good. Like the first 30 minutes, I was like,
same.
What am I watching?
What is happening? I know.
What are we getting into? But then when like spoilers, there's early in the film, Willem Dafoe, his character, he burps, and when he burps, it like makes this huge bubble.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember if it like pops or not, or I think it does.
It kind of floats up, yeah.
So that happens early in the film, and there's lots of things like that where you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But then when the movie gets to that point where it starts referencing things you've already seen, it becomes really fun. Like the second time he does that burp, I can't remember the context of why it was funny. But when he does the burp the second time, I like busted out laughing.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay,
yeah.
now I know what I'm watching. Like, and I just like settled into it, and like it was incredible.
I think the second time it comes in and it's like mid burp, Like the first time you see it from beginning to end, and the second time it kind of cuts and it just starts the dinner scene with him like halfway through, just like, and it's just like this is a constant occurrence that they just have to kind of pause their lives for.
Yeah. Such a such a unique movie experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was an older couple. We went to see that in the theaters. There was an older couple that like 10 minutes in, they're like, nope.
Yeah. Bless them. I went to see it with my parents. I didn't realize it was going to be as racy
no.
as it was. Yeah. Passing the
Yeah.
chocolate buttons at the worst time. Like, oh, Emma Stone's getting nailed again. Does anyone want any chocolate? Oh, we just gotta just not acknowledge it.
It's gotta be the most awkward thing.
Oh
Yeah.
well, went to see Wolf of Wall Street with them as well, so we picked the best films.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've experienced it before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No Killers of the Flower Moon. Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah, Lily Gladstone would have been good.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, Emma Stone was amazing. Lily Gladstone was nominated for Best Actress, right? Not supporting.
She was. Yeah,
Okay.
Best Actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I think
the indigenous show, like the Native American
music performance.
music performance was dope.
It was cool.
It was really good. It was
and feels like something we've never seen before on the Oscars, you know.
Yeah. Or any like live broadcast, nationally broadcast show like that, you know, because it was I mean, obviously, you know, it felt like centuries old, but it was also incorporating lighting and, you know, modern technology into enhancing it. But what was I gonna say? I can't remember. It was so when I was watching it, I did also have this thought of like, can you imagine what John Wayne would be doing if he was like sitting in that audience? You're just like,
no, he wouldn't be. Yeah, he wouldn't be happy.
Like,
yeah.
Have you seen
the clip of the when Marlon Brando won and he sent like a tribe member up to collect his Oscar and she got like booed off stage?
Yeah, Little Feather. Yeah. And they only just apologized to her like a couple of years ago. They sent out like a official apology and stuff, and then she passed away like shortly after that.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, you know, it's good to see that corners are being turned, you know.
Yeah,
I do think Greta was unlucky not to get a Best Director nod. I do think that wasn't super justified. I don't know.
You think it wasn't? You think what wasn't justified? Sorry.
Greta Gerwig not getting nominated for Best Director.
Yeah, of course. Like, her not getting nominated. I was like, when the nominations came out, I was like, what? Like,
I know. I think that the line they're treading is very fine, especially with films like that. You know, it's kind of the difference between like art and kind of like blockbuster films. It kind of treads that line, and I think they tended to think that Oppenheimer out of the two was probably the more art film, the more based around what their values are, as opposed to Barbie, which is probably more mainstream. And I assume that's probably why we saw it shut out a lot.
Yeah.
You know. But I think films can be both. It's like the Mission Impossible franchise. The last one, not so much, but the one before should have been nominated maybe for Best Picture, I think, for that year.
Yeah.
Because it's great. It's entertaining, it's fun, it's well made, well directed, well acted, you know. It's a good picture.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like the balance is always a little bit off with these things.
Yeah, but don't they also like there's like money behind it too? They have to like campaign and like it's kind of all silly.
Yeah, like Divine Joy Randolph when she thanked a publicist and she's like, I know that they've told me not to thank, you know, there's so much behind it.
Yeah.
You know, people are kind of like in Sight and Sound, for example, like a few months ago, there was posters for films, and it was like for your consideration. They're pushing it out as much as possible to get people to vote for their clients and stuff. It is just, some of it is money, and power and stuff like that. So
I like that Robert Downey Jr. thanked his stylist.
yeah, they got it spot on though.
Man, he is so he's another one of those people that he's so good at being a movie star.
Yeah.
Couldn't
do anything else.
He just like it feels like you're watching Tony Stark go up there and give that speech.
Yeah. He's probably going to resent anyone saying that, seeing as he's trying to shake it off a little. But
yeah. But I mean, you can't help but think it. I mean, it's just at this point, like people our age and younger. I mean, the range of people that kind of have grown up watching him now.
Yeah.
People even older than us and younger than us have all like grown up with him.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. It is nice to see him win something.
Yeah.
And step out and do something different and kind of get nominated for it. Yeah, which is good. Best speech went to, I think, the writer of American Fiction, or the adapter of American Fiction, that talked about, instead of making one $200 million movie, just make 20 $10 million movies.
Yeah.
Which, big thumbs up about that. I think that's the problem with Hollywood, isn't it? It's nobody wants to take a risk, so it's all these tropes and stuff we've seen before, and in reality, it's like these are the films that we, the smaller ones that are more interesting, have more to say, and I was almost at my seat, whooping.
Yeah,
like more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some of the speeches I'll have to go back and watch because we were like, talking and stuff during the Oscars, but so I don't think I catch that. I did see like someone post that part of the speech. But it makes sense, man. I mean, like there's like you can do so much with $10 million. Like especially like these hungry young filmmakers.
I know.
They have something to say, and
it's just give us a bit more variety. Like Madam Web came out in the cinema and that was all that was on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's kind of like, I don't want to see that. I want to see something a bit different, And I think as a consumer,
you haven't seen Madam Web?
I have not seen Madam Web. No. And as a consumer, I just want a bit more variety,
No, for sure.
Holdovers didn't even come to my local cinema. It only came as like a special one-off screening because it'd been nominated. And it was sold out. And I'm just like, come on. Like, it's not, people do want to see it, at least 1 or 2 screenings a day or something.
Yeah.
Just so we can have the chance. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I guess it's just the algorithms. Like at this point, I don't know if there's any real people making those decisions.
No,
I think just plugging the numbers in, and they're then computers printing out the little piece of paper that says.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is distributors as well. Yeah, they go to, like the foreign films will go to kind of the Magnolia, the Alamo, the ones that are a little bit more independent, and then the AMC will just be like, we'll show.
We'll see
this DC film for 17 weeks instead of 10.
See, I would be fine with that if like independent cinemas were everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
But like, and in Dallas, like we did have, what do we have? We had like 2 Angelicas. We had like 8 Alamo Draft Houses.
Yeah.
And then we had some others in the Texas Theater, the Forest Theater, like all these other like mom and pop
small independent ones. Yeah.
But like down here in Houston, it's like which is even a bigger city and more diverse, but like
Mm.
there's one Alamo Draft House, but it's in Katy, which is, unless you live close to Katy, it's
Yeah.
kind of far,
Mm.
no matter where you are in Houston. And that's like, I mean, well, they are renovating the River Oaks, so maybe at some point they'll have some more indie
That'll be
films.
good. Yeah.
But
Yeah, same
yeah,
here.
it's
We
just,
have like an Odeon, which is the same as AMC, really. We have a Cineworld, like a town over, which, same as Cinemark. And then in Nottingham, which is like further afield, there's like a little independent cinema. But it's like centre of town. It's hard to kind of get into and park and at short notice. So you just kind of have to make do with what's on locally.
yeah.
Which, yeah, I don't think I've been pretty lucky to have shown, a few here and there. So yeah, they even showed Godzilla -1 in IMAX, which I was pretty
Did
thrilled
you ever
about.
finish watching that?
No, dude, still
Yeah.
got to do it.
Yeah.
Waiting for it. So
Yeah, if you missed one of our last episodes, Lewis went to the cinema to see it, and then the electricity went out
yeah,
after the first scene.
and we sat there for about 20 minutes, and then yeah, it wasn't coming back on, so we left.
Yeah.
But yeah, more independent stuff.
Yeah. Well, I did go see Madam Web.
What did you think? Is it as
I loved
I
it.
mean, my parents went to see it.
They did?
And, yeah, and they did not enjoy it much. Didn't get
Why
a lot
did they
out of
go
it.
see it? There's just nothing else to
So
watch. They
yeah,
wanted to
we've
go.
got like a monthly subscription to the
Oh,
cinema. So it's
yeah.
kind of like a
Use it
unlimited
or
card.
lose it.
You can go. Yeah. So that's kind of they go and see everything pretty much.
Yeah,
If it's on,
yeah.
they'll go and see it. And it's just playing one afternoon, so they're like, oh, we'll go and see it. Yeah. Glad I didn't go.
Did your dad come back and he was like, snooze fest?
It was just like, what was it about? It was like the dialogue wasn't great. Just seemed a bit bland and boring.
Are you gonna watch it at any point?
Yeah. No, I don't know why I said yeah. I'm not. I don't think. I don't know. I can't see a world where I'd like be sitting at home and prefer to watch that than like a John Cassavetes film or something a little bit more interesting.
Well, we have tried to do every Spider-Man related film
We
for
have.
Film Church, but obviously we've been taking a little break, and Madam Web came out, so we kind of missed it. But yeah, I would say not worth it.
No,
I mean, there's
am I
just
missing
nothing.
anything major in there? Or
Can I give you some spoilers though?
yeah, please do. Yeah.
So spoilers for if you want to see Madam Web. I set my expectations really low, and it honestly just as an average movie,
Yeah.
it wasn't like it didn't need to be expensive. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't need to be
Yeah.
a big budget studio film. It wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't just like it obviously wasn't like a great movie, but it also wasn't just like so like
Yeah.
completely unwatchable. But
Yeah.
it also didn't make a lot of sense, and the choices of what they decided to do with it, and like
Yeah.
I think for me as a Spider-Man fan, so I also just rewatched the entire Spider-Man cartoon series from the 90s,
Yeah.
which Madam Web plays a big role in. And I grew up watching that, and I always thought like Glenn Close could be a cool Madam Web,
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that. But still, it was like if you had told me as a kid that one day there would be a Madam Web movie in the cinemas, I
Yeah.
would be like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, I
Yeah.
can't wait for the future.
Yeah. Careful what you wish for.
But they like, I feel like if you're gonna take such an obscure character like Madam Web
Mm.
and make it completely inaccurate to the comic books,
Yeah.
then like make it cool.
Do something cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but they just took it and did something that wasn't comic book related and didn't make it cool at all. It like doesn't make any sense. It's like, what were you doing? It feels like the entire movie was written by ChatGPT.
Well,
It might have
it
been.
could have done. Yeah.
But so many ridiculous, dumb dialogue. But the one that everybody might be talking about the most is when she goes into like this pool underneath this mountain thing in the jungle, and she realizes who she is and that she has this power and whatever, and there's like this mentor / wizard kind of character person. I don't even know what to call him. Anyway, so she's like ascending and like floating. She's like in her head and like realizing all these things, and the guy says, once you accept the responsibility, the power will come.
Oh no. No.
They just took that line. They like put, with great power comes great responsibility. Hey, ChatGPT, how can I say this without saying it?
Yeah.
Once you accept the responsibility, the power will come.
Yeah, ChatGPT, I am trying to copy this homework, but can you make it look like mine? Use these words, but jumble them up for me.
Peter Parker is a part of the movie as well. Have you heard about this?
I haven't. No.
So the movie is a period piece.
Okay. Is the guy that she's in the ambulance with, Adam Scott, he's Uncle Ben, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew that.
So beginning of the movie, Uncle Ben's like, "Hey, I met somebody," and she's like, "Oh, great, that's awesome." And you're also kind of like, were they kind of like fuck buddies? Was Uncle Ben like dating Madam Web at some point, and that's how he's connected to Peter? That's how she's connected to Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he also, he says he's met someone. You assume it's Aunt May. You never see her.
Yeah.
He talks about his sister, Mary Parker. They go at one point. There's a baby shower, and they're over at Mary Parker's house. Mr. Parker is out of the country doing spy stuff. We don't know. They don't say spy stuff, but we know that.
Okay.
We know that if the comic books. And anyway, there's a baby shower, and then at one point they're like, there's a game. It's like, guess his name. Guess the baby's name, and it gets to Madam Web, and I can't even remember what happened. She has some like weird
Webhead.
Webhead, yeah. Tingle.
Or Peter Tingle.
But they don't say the name. But then the climax of the movie is she's like having the baby and she has to go to the hospital, and then there's the whole fight sequence, and then at the end of the movie, the Madam Web character she somehow gets blinded and paralyzed. We don't really know how. We're not really. She falls in the water, and then the girls like pull her out of the water, and now she's blinded and paralyzed.
Often people are blinded by falling in water.
Yeah. Anyway, so she ends up at the same hospital that Mary Parker is at, and then there's like some kind of line where
there's a visitor. Sorry.
Hello.
I don't know if let me turn.
Hi.
Everyone's here. Brandon says hi.
Hello.
I can't turn this background off.
It's okay.
They just pop in through the
I know.
darkness.
There we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Gonna say hello? You can speak in here if you want.
Hi.
Hi.
Very good. Yeah. All families here.
Okay.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Just wanted to say hello.
Yeah.
No, we don't need to show.
She wants to show you her toys, but I don't think that's going to
Okay.
happen. So yeah, she's obsessed.
Spider-Man toys only.
Yeah. So it got derailed, I'm afraid. So yeah,
No,
she's
we
blinded
were just
and
discussing really important stuff. It's
yeah. Oh, there's Bunny.
Bunny.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
When it says that's so cool,
I love it.
he loves it. Okay.
Okay, let's go downstairs.
That's nice.
We're
Love
watching
you.
Cinderella.
Okay. I'll see you in a bit.
We're gonna check out TV.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Pretty soon you'll just be doing the show without me.
Oh dear.
So yeah, she ends up at the hospital where Mary Parker has now had the baby Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And we don't ever cut to her or see the baby. We just
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And then the girls they are girls, but like
Yeah, I was gonna say
the team.
Is that the big reveal?
No, the team like comes in where Madam Web is blinded and paralyzed and in her hospital room, and they're like, Mary had her baby and Ben is down there and said he likes something about him being the fun uncle. It doesn't have to like
Yeah.
do participate that much or something. I can't remember how the dialogue goes exactly, but then Madam Web is just like, that's what he thinks.
Oh, all right.
Because she can see the future. She knows,
Yeah.
like Mary's gonna die.
Yeah.
And
he's gonna die too.
And then this is like another part I just don't understand, like why you would, like, if you're gonna butcher the character, why not make it cool? And at the last part of the movie, they're like in some high-rise apartment with like a window with like oval, like it's hard to describe, like it's like an oval window, but then there's like other oval pieces in between in it too. So you can still see.
Does it look a bit like the window at Doctor Strange's
kind
abode?
of? Yeah, kind of almost like that, but more like a web, because Madam Web sits in a web throne.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're trying to make it look like that, and she's just in a wheelchair.
Right.
And then she has these really ugly, stupid sunglasses that kind of look like the ones, like kind of look like the character. It's just like they just made her like so cheesy and stupid at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
To kind of make it look like she's the character now. But it's like, why?
Yeah. Yeah. And what?
Like, this is not interesting.
So was there any clues as to what universe is in? It's not, I assume it's not in, I mean, could it be in the DC, not the DC, the MCU, with us not seeing May? Oh, do we see May? No, we don't see May.
I guess it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't see May because it's 2003, right? But that's still too early.
Yeah.
Tom Holland would still be too old.
Yeah, he would be
Or
like
would he be?
12, 13 when, because doesn't that take place in like 2016, all the Civil War stuff? Or is that too late?
Like that. It might be too late.
Yeah,
so
it's not
like
that.
What universe is? I mean, it could be. It could still be in like the Venom universe, the Sony universe.
Yeah.
It could still be Venom stuff, but we still haven't seen that Spider-Man yet.
Yeah.
Because if the Venom stuff is modern time, then we're already 20 years later now. Right? From 2003. It's been 21 years. So
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get more answers with Craven.
He says, hopefully. Oh dear. Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, I just don't have hopes. Again, I just worry that, Craven is a very cool villain because he's not in it for kind of like
World
I don't know.
domination.
Yeah, he just wants to like
He
take
just
down
wants to
the
hunt.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
his
and I
thing. He
don't
likes
know.
to hunt.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to make that palatable for an audience today without losing any of his, villainy.
Yeah.
So
Well, they've taken all the villains and they've made them heroes so
yeah,
far.
yeah, yeah. You live long enough as a villain, start to see yourself as a hero, I guess.
Start to see yourself become the hero.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most villains don't see
Oh,
themselves as
yeah.
villains.
Yeah. I mean, that is a film that we could not have had and then had a lot of smaller films financed from that money. So it's a shame.
But I
Yeah.
mean, I like more power to the people who worked on the film to collect their paychecks, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, well,
You
I
guys
don't
did
let's
it.
say
Yeah.
that, but it's like it's also completely skewed to where most of the money's going to the producers anyway. So it's
Mhm.
like I don't know.
I know. Did it make? It must have made money. Let me have a look at box office
I
mojo. It
think
must have made
so.
some money
Yeah.
because I know that like there's been a lot of jokes of Sydney Sweeney did what SNL and then was like, you definitely didn't see me in Madam Web.
It's like I think they're built. I mean, it seems like their plan is to make like a Sinister Six kind of movie,
Mm,
right? That's what they're building towards.
yeah.
But usually, if you're gonna do a bunch of films leading up to something like that, they would be films that you know play into the
Yeah.
story of whatever it is you're building to. But it seems like all of these films they've created, you're not gonna need to see them before seeing whatever it is they're building towards.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's just
This is it. I don't feel like I need to see them at all.
like, is there anything in Morbius or Madam Web that is gonna give you a better understanding of whatever Sinister Six movie they
Oh
make?
no.
No, like nothing.
Yeah, just to make you feel a bit sick, it is the 5th highest grossing film of the year so far.
Yeah, but it's only March.
I know. Taken 96 million.
Well, they probably spent more than that though.
I think was the budget, does it say they're 54 million?
That's
That
it?
can't be right. That can't be right.
Probably. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I
Maybe.
don't know where they would spend the money. I don't even know where they would spend $54 million.
I know. Maybe. I don't know. But
The whole climax of the movie, they're like fighting on a building with a big under a big Pepsi sign.
oh, gross. Yeah, 80 million. It says Google says 80 million. So
80?
yeah. So it's just made back its money. Good for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's a lot more to come out this year. I think that will drop pretty heavily.
Yeah.
So the Jason Statham film Beekeeper is like number 3. So didn't quite outdo that. But
well, anything else that you've been watching or excited about or loved?
I recently read a very, very lengthy biography on Buster Keaton. So I've gone back and watched a few Buster Keaton films, watched Sherlock Jr. again the other day, for the first time since we spoke about it.
Yeah.
So enjoyed that massively. And I'm for Christmas I got a John Cassavetes box set, a Criterion's John Cassavetes, and I've never really watched much of his stuff. So I'm trying to watch quite a lot of his films. And that's like recently. I only started with his debut feature like 2 nights ago. So
okay, cool.
Trying to go through
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah,
But,
dude. I'm really enjoying like I've really enjoyed going back through Nolan and I think I'm gonna do more of that stuff. Just like
yeah.
man, it would
Pick
like
someone
just
and just
hearing you talk about like going through Buster Keaton or going through Cassavetes, I'm like, man, I feel like I would learn so much from doing
Yeah.
something like that. And I'm trying to just get get back to like enjoying films for just enjoying them
Mm.
and watching what I want to watch instead of like putting all this pressure on myself to like you have to watch this so you can be
That's
a
it.
better filmmaker. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
enjoy what you enjoy. That's why I ended up watching like all of the Spider-Man show again because I was like,
Yeah.
this was my
I wanna
favorite
watch
show
this.
when I was
Yeah.
a kid, and it's been on Disney Plus for years, and I haven't
Yeah.
gone through and rewatched all of it. I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
and yeah, super good. I
It is.
really hope they bring that show back because they brought back the X-Men
Mm.
97, which
Yeah.
crosses over with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they couldn't bring back Spider-Man.
I can't imagine it would be that expensive to do
No.
compared to everything else, you know?
Yeah. All the stupid things they fund.
Yeah. It'd be dope. Yeah.
Yeah, like just I mean, because it also leaves it in a dark place at the end of
Mm.
the
Mm.
show.
Yeah.
Like Mary Jane is still lost to the void at the end of the series
Yeah.
finale. And it's like, where is she?
That's mad. And they just left it forever.
Yeah, I mean they hint that they're gonna go find her, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Maybe
they
not.
basically do what's it called? They do Secret Wars in the final
Okay.
season of
Yeah.
Spider-Man. And then at the end and Madam Web like brings Spider-Man in for that. And then at the end, Madam Web is like, okay, you helped me save the universe. I'm gonna help you find Mary Jane. Let's go.
Mm.
And that's how
Yeah.
it ends.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it's a
Yeah.
tragic show though.
Oh,
And
really?
it's kind of crazy, just like,
Yeah.
the level of like dedication in the show. It's really funny, but it's also like Shakespearean, like tragic,
Mm.
you know.
I can remember loving it. Like as a kid, I would like if it was on, not move.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
So good.
Yeah, dude.
Couple of the things that I've been watching that I really like, The Curse, Nathan Fielder, Emma Stone,
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
the Safdies.
Yeah.
I'd be really curious what you think. The way they shoot it too is interesting because it's
Yeah.
all like long lenses and you're like
Yeah.
outside of the house or you're just like
Yeah.
in another room. So it feels like you're just like watching people
Mm.
from afar in their most intimate moments. You're seeing the
Weird.
real side of themselves.
Yeah.
People that are like their TV show personalities. So it's like they are very different behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what you think about Nathan Fielder's,
Acting. Yeah.
acting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he does a really good job, I think. Like there's one scene that starts off one way and it just goes and goes and goes and goes and like flips and changes into this other thing.
Mhm.
Kind of like that. I mean, not to put it on this level necessarily,
Yeah.
but kind of like the scene in Marriage Story where they, have the argument and stuff.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just starts a certain
Yeah.
way and just peaks into
Elevates.
this crazy
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. But yeah, I think you would really like
Mm.
it. And then Jury Duty is another
Yeah.
show. Have you heard of this?
Is that the one that's on? Is it on Amazon Prime
It might be. I think so.
with I forgot his name. But if it's the one that I think it is, yeah, I've watched it. It's really good.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry. I'm completely blanking. Yeah, James Marsden. is in
Yes.
it. Yes.
Yes. It's great. It's really, really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so just the premise for people who don't know what we're talking about. It's like a reality TV filmed jury duty, but everybody that like it's the premise is like that, they're making a TV show out of like a jury duty case. But and it feels and it looks like you're watching reality TV, but
Yeah.
everybody in the show is an actor except
Yeah.
for one guy who thinks it's all real.
It's brilliant.
And it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And James Marsden is in it, but he's just playing himself. He's like,
Yeah.
he's, you know, supposed to be a famous actor that got called into jury duty.
Mm.
But yeah, the way that everything unfolds and the ridiculousness of it and the writing and the improv and then the guy who thinks it's all real and his, you know, you're getting to watch a person make these. He gets constantly put in a situation where he has to like, you know, decide to be a good guy or an
Yeah.
asshole
Yeah.
or like, you know, so it's interesting to like see like the choices that he makes, and you kind of like it kind of gives you this feeling of like, oh, like maybe there is some humanity left in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he is such a nice guy the whole
Yeah.
way through, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it's good. We kind of binged it over just like a couple of days because it's so easy to watch. You
Yeah.
know, I'm hoping
Yeah.
they're going to do another season.
You can, yeah, you're good. Yeah, I don't know. You think they're gonna do another season? I don't
I
know if
think
they
it'll
could
probably
do it
be
again.
with
And
different people.
yeah, for sure.
Because obviously,
'Cause
like with the premise, it's like celebrities do get called for jury duty.
yeah,
You
but
know,
also I
so
feel like this show. I don't know. It's like it depends on how popular the show is because it's like, what if you get like, what if the person that comes in knows
I've
about the
seen it.
show, and then at
Yeah,
some point he's like, or
is this
they are
jury
just like,
duty? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's this. Am I on a? Because they figure they're gonna film the whole thing
I know.
too,
Yeah,
so it's like, yeah, it would be hard to redo. I don't know.
it's good though.
And maybe if you, well, I was gonna say if you do it in another country, it was like other countries don't have jury duty, so maybe not.
Yeah. Mm. Oh dear. It would be good. I mean, yeah, maybe not. I don't know where to. Maybe less with like a less familiar face, but just more orchestrated.
Yeah,
You know, I think that they probably put James Marsden into to get you to watch it
yeah,
as like a familiar face, but they could probably scale it back and do just like a hidden camera show.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Where the
but
person doesn't know there's cameras.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it is good.
yeah. It is. It is a really fun watch.
Yeah,
Highly recommend.
definitely.
But yeah, that's. I mean, I've been watching other stuff too here and there.
Yeah.
You know, you can go check out my letterbox. Well, not you
Shameless plug.
specifically.
Yeah, but the
yeah,
listeners.
anybody listening.
Yeah. But I
But
feel like this year is going to be a lot less than last year.
a lot less films
Yeah.
watched.
I can already just tell, yeah, that it's kind of less than previous years already. I feel like I go kind of days between seeing things, you know. So
Is that because of not doing film church as much, or because just that's how the year's going?
I think just how the year's going, dude. You know, I do think a lot about film church, and just I honestly don't think I could fit the films in. You know,
I know.
it's that point where
It seems
I get to the end of the week and it's like the last, you know, I look on a Friday night and it's like the last film I watched was last Sunday when I went to the cinema with my daughter.
yeah. Yeah.
Because it's just, you know.
And it feels so, I don't know. I've loved doing film church with you. But
Yeah.
like it does, I do feel like I'm watching more films now. Or maybe I'm just enjoying
In a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not putting that. There's not that pressure of like, okay, I have
Yeah.
to watch this film before me and Lewis record, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So anyway, we can talk more about this later, whenever. But
Yeah.
we can maybe reformat the show or something. I think it could be fun to just chat
Yeah.
once a week or something, and maybe even do it on Sundays, or
Yeah.
it could be any day. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to chat about whatever we've been watching or whatever's going on in film news, and just, you know,
Yeah.
make it like film chat.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it is fun to chat.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. I think it's just nice to talk to someone who has the same appreciation, you know,
Yeah.
and kind of, yeah, just talk about movies.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know who texted me the other day? Dopey Joe.
Oh, really?
Joe Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's back in LA writing, and I think he did shoot a film, his short film recently. He said he would send it over when he has like
Yeah.
a cut ready, but
Yeah, that's awesome.
he tried to text both of us.
Mm.
It was like a group text, but it was your
Yeah.
old number. So I gave him your new number. I don't know if he reached out to you, but
I don't think so. No, he hasn't.
I
When I say I don't think so, I don't have that many people text me, so I think I would have got it.
yeah,
But
I just told him that you had moved and gave him your new number and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good to hear from him.
Yeah. Doing good.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Good.
he's making stuff. He's writing, making stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like we all
So
are.
we can ask for. Yeah.
Trying to get
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's awesome. Good old Joe.
Yeah. That might be all the film talk.
Yeah. I think if there's anything else that I'm interested in, I don't know if you'd find it interesting, but my film collecting has dropped. So I haven't been buying as many films, which is sad. But yeah.
Anything recently that you got that you really like?
They did a flash sale. I haven't received them yet. I had to send them to an address in America so Chelsea can pick them up. But got Train Spotting on 4K. Excited to watch that again. Love
Nice.
Train Spotting.
Yeah. I think I've only
yeah.
watched it once, and it was too dark for me at the time. But I think I would revisit it now.
Yeah. It's a weird balance. I feel like it's very English because like morbid things happen, but it's in an environment that's not super morbid.
Is that Danny Boyle?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
He's got an interesting career.
He has.
His movies aren't always well, I guess I haven't sat down and watched them back to back, but I feel like tonally they're all very different.
Yeah.
Because Train Spotting seems very dark, and then
there's dark themes. I think it's just about drug abuse, isn't it? It's hard to like shy away from the awfulness of it, I guess. But yeah.
But he was one of the first people to bring Cillian Murphy around, right?
28 days later. Yeah. Which I assume they're probably going to do another one. I see a lot of talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
28
years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. But other than that,
the second one?
I think he was involved in it, at least.
Yeah.
Let me have a look.
Maybe not directed it.
Oh, did he? No.
Oh, Danny Boyle.
No, he didn't. No.
Excuse me.
Bless you. No. Was he involved in it though? Producer, maybe?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, he was executive producer, so.
Okay.
He was involved.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy is so young.
He was. He doesn't even look like him. Oh dear. But yeah, that's all film world that's going on.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
Well, bye. Just kidding. Yeah. Anybody listening, hope you enjoyed hearing us catch up, and let us know if you want us to continue
to catch up
things like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of like
bit more
picking the
informal
film and
I like to think it's one of those conversations where you can get a cup of coffee and sit down in a nice comfortable chair and just listen to some people talk about film for a while.
Yeah.
That was how I would envision it.
Yeah.
But you do you, listener.
You can do whatever you want.
Listen however you want, but
yeah,
that's how I would do it. So.
All right. Well, you can follow me on Letterboxd at Selmanscope, and Lewis you can find at Walker Lewis 3007. And yeah, thanks for being here, everyone.
Yeah. Peace out.
Goodbye. I'm not hanging up. I'm just going to stop.
No.